Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Coping with Life. I'm your host, Scott. Welcome. How are you doing today? You know, welcome. And if you haven't been here before, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome. Um, still, this past week hasn't actually been easy for me. I know I've been saying that a lot. Um, But I'm trying. I'm doing my best, and that's all we can do at this point. And I hope you're doing well, and I hope people in your life are doing well. And you know, take a risk, because even if things don't pan out for you or whatnot, you know it happens, and taking a risk. Probably gonna talk about this a lot. Um, and you know, me being who I am, just trying my best, an everyday struggle to continue to the next day, fighting my brain, fighting, you know, there's things that I want to say, want to get off my chest, venting, ranting, raving, talking about mental illness, you know, but at the same time, just trying to, calm my brain to speak and be cohesive is not an easy feat. And, sometimes, some days it's easier, some days it's harder. And, you know, talking to people is not easy, or going out there and working on projects or working on things that Um, I'm aiming for the sky. That I want to try this. I want to do this. I want to accomplish. Sometimes it doesn't pan out the way that I envisioned, but at least I tried, and I'm okay with that. But you know what? You know, I my you know brain fog and not knowing. For me, I I, the word stuck comes to mind. And you know, I don't feel stuck. I feel more lost without a direction. I think that is a better way to describe it. Because, with the vision that I have and stuff that I want to accomplish, you know, okay, I see where I want to go. I just need to find ways to get there. And, you know, sometimes the path is clear as day. The path to the right opens up, and there's a giant road, and it's like easy path go this way, and yet the path on the left, is a tiny uh, wire with spikes on the ground, but you know you may think to the left is harder, but maybe the payoff is a lot greater. Um, and so sometimes it's hard to choose which direction to go, and spinning in circles doesn't always help. Um, and it's not easy. Excuse me, sorry. Um, but it's not easy to because maybe the path to the left does not get me where I want to go, but it may take me down a different path, and that's okay. Um, and so sometimes it's just hard for me to choose which direction. And sometimes I choose no direction. Um, and that's okay. That's definitely okay. And but I'll find my way. I just need to get through the next couple months and um, uh, taking a risk and trying new things. Um, and you know, I've been saying that a lot because the reason why taking a risk matters to me is getting out of my comfort zone, doing making me feel uncomfortable because the whole fight or flight scenario is where I strive, where I uh, flourish. I anyway. I I it's a way that I can gauge certain situations and adapt to. It's not easy. I'm not saying it isn't or is. Um, Words are hard, but you know, doing the best that you can is that's okay because sometimes you know sometimes it's just one of those things where do you want to be? You know, those questions of where do you see yourself in, 5 years? Honestly, I can't answer that because if I asked that question 5 years ago, I would have never envisioned myself where I am today. Um, and to me, that is the best thing about life is, you know, sometimes you can say, oh, this is where I want to be, and that's good. But at the same time, um, you know, it, it's just one of those things where I I can't answer that question because I I don't have an answer to that question, and so I don't know why. Every time I think of those questions, it makes me more sad and more depressed because I know life is about the journey and not its destination. And, sometimes for me, that is hard because, sometimes waking up is difficult. And, you know, I'm, I'm trying so hard to do things and trying my best to being my best. And, you know, I it's just one of those things where, finding the right words and expressing, how I feel. It's not easy, especially expressing it to other people who don't know, what I've been through or how I've dealt with things. And it's just, I, I just, it's one of those things where no matter how hard I try, no matter how hard you know, I, I take risks, and sometimes those risks don't pan out, you know, and that's definitely okay, and that is all part of, the journey, and and also what are the expectations, what the goal, and like the title of this episode is, another ramble, of Rambling Saturday. Um, and and it's just I the just there's so much thing that I want to say. There's a lot of things that I want to do, um, and there's so many blockades and there's so many barriers in front of me, and there's it's just hard, and you know today of all days, um, is it's not easy for me. The next, 48, 72 hours are not good for me. Um, where I was mentally last year, and um, it just, I don't know. I'm, it's so much weight, so much, and to me, it matters. It honestly, you know, days and experiences and life, people that I've met, people that I've talked to, the conversations, all that matters. And they mean something to me, even if it's an argument or a fight. I remember sometimes I will say that I don't, um, but oh, I remember. And they all matter, uh, but and I try to be a very positive person. I try to lift people up and, uh, you know, tell them to, hydrate, tell them to be the best they can be. And, you know, sometimes the person that I neglect the most is myself. Excuse me. And that that's not the easy thing to admit, but I did. And I need to get better at that, and, lifting myself up and try and be a better me, and knowing my brain, and just sometimes wounds take so long to heal, but you know, sometimes when there's wounds that that are there, but yet you don't address, you know, they're not gonna it's not gonna heal right. It's, and I'm more metaphorically speaking of wounds, not physical. Um, just things, uh, just hardships and barriers. But that's that's life, and life goes on, and we all have to um, deal with it and handle it in our own way. Sometimes I can't handle that, and sometimes it's hard, and just doing the best that we can, and so I'm just at a loss for words. I'm I'm I, I don't know. I don't know what direction to go, and sometimes it's hard to, am I making the right choice? Am I going the right way about it? Am I, making a pros and cons list, or am I, you know, I don't want to say that I'm a failure because I'm not. I am, you know, a lot stronger than I will ever give myself credit for. But I'm just recently, I feel, you know, the heavy burden and the weight of the world on my shoulders. And it's just, I know it's temporary. I know I will get through with it. And I know the fog of war will lift and my brain can, think of other stuff. But, I just think that I don't know. And I just, I, I just don't know. I don't want to, like I said earlier, I don't want to use the word stuck, but I just am lost. And I need to find my way to figure out what direction I want to go, how, and, you know, make sure that my mental health is up and being well, because I have to take that in priority. I have to make sure that I am well and I am taking care of myself. And, you know, I was doing great for a while. And then I, you know, it's just one foot at a time. And we, I, you know, I'll get through it and be better. And I hope each and every one of you are amazing. And I care about you. and, building a better community. But, you know, sometimes it's just, I don't know. So I think, you know, I'm I'm going to end it here for this week. Hopefully next week I will have more entertainment for you, as always, on Coping with Life. This is I don't know. Ramble, I don't know. Um just I'm being real I it's I don't know. That's how I feel today, and you know, I just I just don't know how I feel, and I just don't know what's coming up. I don't know what the future may hold. So, if you're not doing well mentally, big hugs to you. Know that you're mattered. Know that people care about you. Stay awesome. Have a wonderful day. And I'm trying to be positive. So I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for listening. This has been another episode of Coping with Life. I am your host, Scott. Have a wonderful night. I bid you adieu.